Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. This is Dr. Debbie Mites, the Tantra Doctor, and I'm really happy to be with you today. So, I want to share with you today, we're going to actually talk about the earth element because we are now moving into the late part of summer. And the late part of summer is actually related to the element of earth. So we're moving really out of the fire element, which is really all about radiation, prospering, thriving. It's about, the heat and passion of fire and all that that gives to us, which is, of course, absolutely incredible. But what we're doing now is we're actually moving into a period of late summer, which is related to harvest. It's related to grounding. It's related to prospering and thriving, but basically in a more mature kind of way. We're actually receiving and reaping the benefits of all that we've done, all that we've created. And what this guides us to, what this brings us to, is a state of security, the state of security, stability, grounding, trust, centeredness, and balance in our lives. So, and I'm sure if you think about this, it kind of makes sense. The earth is for us the source of really all of the nutrients and a lot of nurturing qualities. And so I'm going to share some slides with you to just kind of give some images to the concept of the earth element and of the late spring. So here we go. I hope that this all goes smoothly. so so we have this beautiful comforting image of our planet, of Mother Earth herself. And so there's a lot of different ways in which the earth nurtures and supports us. I'm going to move through some of these slides so that you can kind of see. So the earth is comforting, it's nurturing, it's grounding, it's secure. It gives us so much of the things that we need for life. And when I want to talk about the earth and some other terms as well, I actually want to talk about support. The earth supports us in very much the way that the feminine, that women can support and love one another, and that we can provide that support to other people in our lives. But it's also about feeling full, feeling confident, feeling grounded, feeling truly at home in oneself. It allows us to flourish in a way that is very confident, very secure, very deep. And we are able to just allow that to emanate from us in a really special and beautiful way. And we could think, we've all heard the term Mother Earth. And so we we are being supported, nurtured, and fed through Mother Earth in the same way that we as women do for our own children and babies. Just another concept of Mother Earth, of the security, um, the trust, the grounding, the stability that comes with all of that. So the earth element is actually connected to the organs of the spleen, stomach, and pancreas. And here I'm just showing you some of the images. This is the image of the spleen meridian in the body. It actually runs from the toe all the way up the inside of the legs, up into the abdomen and into the chest. The stomach is a little bit different pattern, but again, these are the two main organs that are connected to the fire element. Actually, some of these slides are a little bit out of the balance, out of the order that I wanted them to be in, so I'm going to move back to this slide. So think about this in the terms of Taoist five-element or Chinese medicine five-element theory. So here we are here in the earth element now. So we've come, basically, you see how this circle goes around. This is what they call the creation cycle. So here you have spring, the wood element, leading into summer, feeding the fire element as wood feeds fire. And now fire, when there is fire, the remnants of fire become earth. The whatever has been burned in the fire returns to earth itself. And so I want to talk a little bit about some of the qualities of earth and why it is important. It's associated with the color yellow. It's also associated with the feelings of trust and groundedness. Some of the imbalance, each of these elements, as you know, has a virtue, usually a yin and a yang virtue, but also has some imbalanced states. And so which usually relate to our emotional lives and our mental lives, as well as our spiritual lives. So we can actually tune into some of our emotions, and we can actually transform the imbalanced aspects of earth or of any element into the balanced form, the thriving, positive, virtuous forms that we actually want to experience in our lives. So the imbalanced emotions that come up around the element of earth tends to be feelings of worry, anxiety, can be associated with obsessions, compulsions, paranoid feelings. It can also be associated with issues such as addictions, attachments, sometimes to the objects of our love or things that we feel connected to. We can, if this gets imbalanced, it can turn out to be more of a neediness and an attachment that we can sort of develop this sort of sense of addiction and an unhealthy relationship with. So these are things that are common. We all have these impulses and these things moving inside of us. And what we're working to do is to bring a sense of thriving and trust, and security, groundedness, and health. So it's when we are experiencing this that we can fully step into our sensual pleasure in a place of safety, not just a place of excitement or fun or joy or, some of those kinds of energies that come with sexuality, but going in a deeper level to feel truly one with the universe, one with our partner, if we have one, during our sexual experiences, to feel strength, to feel secure, grounded, open, centered. So we want to feel open to experience pleasure, and we want to feel that it's safe to do so. When we trust the energy that we're feeling, we can be so much more deeply embedded in pleasure. So that's really a lot of what we're talking about here. We're talking about embracing our sacred sexuality. So we know that our sexual organs open up in a space of trust, in a place of balance, in a place where we feel secure and that it's safe to fully experience all that is there. And we can go beyond our previous levels of pleasure and joy and sensuality and spirituality when we know that we've got solid ground underneath us. So that's how this really relates to sexuality. So as you know, there are Taoist tantric practices as well as other types of tantric practices that I've had a chance to study, and we integrate all these so that we can bring our fullness, our wholeness, and the best of all that we've got available to us into our present life experience so that we can have all that we want in our lives in terms of pleasure, joy, satisfaction, and growth. So we also have, we can see how our physical body is associated with this as well. So here we are looking at the earth element, again, associated with the stomach, the spleen, and the pancreas. When this earth element is out of balance in our life, we can have all kinds of digestive problems, from constipation to, having more frequent bowel movements than we want. We can have problems with absorption, digestion. These are things that we don't want in our lives, obviously. um, so moving past these, I want to talk for a moment about some ways to, we're going to be talking about ways to deepen and to eliminate some, to deepen the positive virtues that we want, and also in some ways to let go of the imbalanced aspects of Earth in our lives. So we want to let go of imbalanced Earth in our lives. So I'm going to talk to you for a minute. We're going to be learning a lot of different practices. So in the next few weeks, we're going to be talking a great deal about the earth element and about the late summer and how we can use the energies that are happening around us to facilitate the growth that we want within us. So I want to start today by doing a practice that will allow us to let go of the imbalance. We can actually transform feelings and states of worry, anxiety, obsessions, compulsions, addictions, and attachments into feelings of stability, trust, groundedness and balance, openness, and a sense of fairness around us. And as we work and interact with this earth and with the world around us. So I want to talk to you about first just a practice that we can do to basically do this transformation, to eliminate these digestive kinds of issues. And so I'm going to shift my camera just a little bit, but I'm going to take us through something called the healing sounds practice. And at this point, I'm just going to talk about their healing sounds for all of the elements and all of the organs associated with those. But what we're going to do is we're going to just go into the earth aspect, the earth element right now. So again, we're talking about the stomach, spleen, and pancreas. So we're talking about a part of the body that correlates to the center and the solar plexus area, just beneath the rib cage, and also the left upper quadrant of our abdomen. I don't know how well you can see this, but I'm going to go ahead and just put my hands in this place that correlates to the spleen and stomach elements. So what we're going to do is use our hands and our minds as a bit of a scanning device. So turning your palms toward your body in these areas, I want to invite you to scan your spleen, stomach, and pancreas. And scan for any tendency toward worry, toward rumination, anxiety, any addictions, attachments, obsessions, compulsions, a tendency toward overthinking, which is something that a lot of us do. To scan this part of your body and identify any of that that might be present for you. Then we're going to reach our fingertips under the rib cage into these areas in the left upper quadrant and the center of the upper abdomen. We're going to dig the fingers in a little bit and release this with the healing sound for the earth element, which is whoo, whoo, whoo. It's almost like we're just bringing that stuff up and vomiting it out. There's a lot to be said for letting go of that. And what we want to do is we want to draw in as we breathe in, inhaling in the positive virtues of the earth element. So drawing in a sense of trust, a sense of grounding, drawing in a sense of security, safety, openness. The ability to receive with safety, comfort, and security. This is what's available to us as we connect to the earth element, as we strengthen the earth element inside of us. So what we come up with, and when we've done this, is we come up to a place of balanced earth, of grounded stability in our lives, security, strength. And the earth is already here. It's already providing a level of stability and groundedness for us. We want to continue that and grow into that. And we can, because it's all present within us already. So when we fully embrace the earth element inside of us, we can actually step into the bounty of earth. We can receive, we can thrive with happiness and joy, with a sense of sustainability and security. So important. So we can also relax and ground in to our own sense of deep pleasure, which is ultimately very much connected to sexuality and with Tantra. So I want to stop the share here of the screen. And I want to invite you to join me over these next few weeks. That we're going to go deeper into some practices that allow us to cultivate and build this sense of earth, stability, trust, grounding, pleasure, and joy in our lives. That comes with balance, that actually comes with being stable and being grounded. So I look forward to connecting with you again next week. And I want to invite you, if you want to explore sacred sexuality and in terms of your own life and how you can expand and cultivate and grow into that, I want to invite you to connect with me for a complimentary 20-minute sacred sexuality breakthrough session in which we will talk about what your intentions and goals are around the area of sexuality, spirituality, and other parts of your life. We can identify what obstacles might be there and create a mini plan for how you can overcome that and how you can actually create this thriving, this joy, this happiness, and create the sexual life and spiritual life that you truly desire and that you long for deep inside. So it's my pleasure to connect with you. I wish you a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Bye bye.